Hello friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so very glad that you clicked on this video today to join me in bringing you some amazing bookish content. And as you can see by today's title, I am bringing you my August reads. So I only have 3 books here because you know me, I am super ambitious and I say I'm going to read all these books and it never happens. But I just have 3 books here because I do have a good stack of books that I am currently working through. Some of them I'm nearly done with, and so today I plan on filming a 5-hour reading challenge. Usually I read for about that amount of time, but I usually just do it by myself. I've never filmed myself reading it, showing a timer, counting down to the amount of hours that I've read, and who knows, maybe I'll read for 6 hours straight. And I definitely want to talk about that when I'm done to see if I can finish any of the books when I get done reading this. So that's definitely a goal of mine. So obviously going into August, I'm most likely going to have some of these books, if not maybe 1 or 2 of them, maybe just 1 of them, still needing to catch up and read. But a couple of the books I'm working on filming those coffee and conversation videos. If you haven't seen, I've posted 2 videos so far, and I'll make sure to link them down below for you guys and put the little pictures here on the screen. But I love it. It's been so fun just to sit and talk about books as I'm going through them. So I won't dive into that in the video that I want to film, but I'm definitely going to just record myself reading these books. I think it could be really fun to just kind of go through, see how much I can get done in a length of time. And so August might have a little bit more reads. That's the point of what I'm trying to say here. But I definitely know these are 3 books that I want to dive into this month. And I thought, why not film my monthly TBR for August? So without further ado, let's jump straight into today's video. So as you can see, oh yes, it is never a Living for Books episode if I do not have something that I'm drinking. So my cute cup that I got for Christmas last year from my mom, it's some toasted coconut almond bark Bigelow tea. I don't know if it'll you can kind of see it maybe, but you guys, it's super good. And I put a little hazelnut syrup in it and a little bit of hazelnut creamer, kind of froth it up on top. It's really good. I know it's 80 something degrees outside currently here in Michigan, so drinking hot tea is crazy. But this morning I did make myself a little Thai tea boba, which I'll post a little filming of it here on the screen for you guys. I actually bought the boba on Amazon, so I'll link that down below if I can find it. And I just boiled it, took about 5 minutes, and it worked out great. I love every now and again getting a boba tea, so I thought, why not this morning for breakfast have one of these? So I did have something iced today. But to dive into the 3 books that I definitely want to make sure that I get into for August, the first one is going to be by Margaret Cuthbert. Maybe it's how you pronounce her first name, but it's called The Silent Cradle. And so to read the back of it for you guys, it says, save a life, save a life. This is the mantra repeated by Dr. Ray Dupri from Berkeley Hills Hospital's premier obstetrician. She's driven by passion to save the lives of women and their babies in her care. But she's noticing that her rival across the street, which I believe is named Bo Michaels, and what does he do? He works at a politically sensitive birth center across the street. So it doesn't give you any more information of what a politically sensitive birth center could mean. It could be maybe a place where women go who are having issues with getting infertility. It could mean many different things. So this might be a little bit of a sensitive book to read, but I thought that was interesting. So there, it looks like these are 2 rival centers, and it says she starts to do a little bit of investigating to uncover the truth why it seems like the seemingly routine deliveries are becoming very fatal at either at her location, it doesn't say, or the location across the street. And so this is just showing you how the political system and the healthcare system, how it's all intertwined and how money plays a huge factor on how things are done. So I thought it would be a very fitting book to read because obviously it's a psychological thriller. And if you haven't seen the last episode in my coffee and conversation, I am currently reading The Coast to Coast Murders by James Patterson, and you guys, I'm loving it. Psychological thrillers is one of my favorite genres to read. I do love fantasy, I love middle grade, I love historical fiction, but I definitely find that a good psychological thriller, those are books I can get through quite quickly, and they always pique my interest, versus a fantasy book, sometimes the books have the same themes. And then with middle grade, depending on the middle grade that I've read so far, they kind of all follow something kind of similar. So I definitely feel like psychological thrillers, they're always different. They always keep you on your toes. So that's definitely why I wanted to read this one. I also thrifted the book, and I think it's just nice to read like a really old, used, thrifted book, you know, with the different little stained edges of the book. It's just nice. It's raw. It's rich. You know, it has characters. Someone somewhere, maybe many people have read this book and enjoyed it. So I definitely wanted to pick that up and read it, and let me know down below if you happen to have read this book and what you thought about it, but I will link it down below for you guys. Then the second book that I want to get into this month is going to be a middle grade, and that is going to be Eva Evergreen, The Semi-Magical Witch by Julie Abe. And you guys, the cover is what made me pick up the book, because I, every now and again, occasionally, like watching a little bit of anime. I have watched Saki, there's like thinking of all the ones that I've watched, and they completely leave my mind in this specific moment. If I can think of it, I'll post some of them here on the screen so just you guys can see of some of the animes that I have watched and enjoyed. And so when I saw this, not that this is anime by any means, but the cover just gave me those vibes a little bit, as you can see by just like the illustration. So that's really what drew me into this book, but I definitely want to read it. And it says, the requirements to pass the novice quest. Number 1, help your town and do good all around. Number 2, live there for 1 moon and don't leave too soon. And 3, fly by broomstick, the easiest trick. So that's all that I'm going to give you for this book. But if you also want to read it, it will be linked down below for you guys, like always. And I believe the second book in this series, it says Eva Evergreen and the Cursed Witch, which is right there on the back. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, so that will be the book that I pick up after this. And in the front it says, sometimes all you need is a pinch of magic. And so, I don't know, I just think it'll be super cute and different. Yes, I have read through some of the Harry Potter books, which also follow like line and wizardry, but this looks a little bit different in terms of just what I'm gathering on the back and like reading the first page. So I'm really excited to dive into this book. And I'll let you know how it is when I finish it in my wrap-up video or a reading vlog, who knows. And then the very last book that I want to make sure that I dive into this month is going to be a book that was really highly anticipated for me and that I was waiting for. And then I picked it up and so many other things kind of happened. I can't even remember when I got this book, but so many other things must have taken place. There must have been other books that I was reading at the time, but that is The Personal Librarian. I was actually able to pick it up at Target. And again, I have no clue why bookstores and department stores like to put stickers on the front of the book. I've never understood that. So now it's a little sticky, but we got it off. But The Personal Librarian by Mary Benedict and Victoria Christopher Murray. And I just cannot wait to get to this. As you know, I love books about books and I love historical fiction. That's another genre that's like piques my interest. I have so many of those books on my shelves and I've read a few of them already. And what I love about this is this follows this woman here named Bella de Costa Green, and she is hired by J.P. Morgan to curate a magnificent library of just the most exquisite works from many different authors, you know, original copies, signed copies, just all of that. It's her, you know, job to do it, but she's extremely fair-skinned. She's African-American, but she's fair-skinned. And this was during, it doesn't give you a time period, but you know, back in the day, fair skin was better, especially if you're African American, and then being African American, you were just put in a lower category because of your skin and different things like that. So she was really, you could say, lucky to get this job in the time period that she lived in. But the biggest thing for her is to hide the fact that she's African American because she can pass as white. So she's been really keeping that facade up, but the more and more as she gets deeper into this role and finding these books, and she has to protect this secret. And so that's just one of the things that you're kind of going through. So not only are you watching her collecting all of these different works for his library, but at the same time, you're watching her kind of war inside with herself of not being able to be her true self, having to hide who she is, having to protect that because she knows that her career, her life, and all that she has can be on the line. So I definitely want to dive into this book. I think it'll be extremely fascinating. It adds in the historical fiction, the book about books, just all of it, and I love it. And then it is about a woman, and I really like reading books that have very strong female characters, so I'm really excited to see how Bella is portrayed in this book. But that will be the last book that I want to make sure that I dive into this month. And then I am currently finishing up the Dictionary of Lost Words. Can't remember how many hours left I have in this book, but I have a good amount of that book done, and I'm actually liking it. I've taken it really slow because I feel like the narrator, although she's great, it can be a little bit drawn out maybe, and I definitely feel like the main character, Esme, is a little bit dumb. I mean, she's 28 now in the story, and I mean, I've been reading it, and throughout the course of the book, I think she started maybe 5 or 6, and now she's 28, and I definitely feel like she hasn't matured into an adult, and she's not sheltered, so I just don't really understand where her maturity level is at, and when is it going to come and blossom. So for me, I find it really interesting because she's made some really pivotal life decisions in a very immature state of mind, and so I'm just dumbfounded, to be completely honest with you, but I'm liking it. It's just taken me a little bit longer to get through that audiobook. And then I just finished book 3 by Rick Riordan in the Percy Jackson series, and so now I started book number 4. I'm loving that. I'm about 4 hours in so far, and that one's pretty good too. I definitely think the way the book is going, they brought Tyson back in because at the end of book 3, he kind of left midway through the book. You didn't know if he was going to be coming back. And so that's really nice. They found Annabeth. You know, you have just the whole kind of team and crew back together on this little quest that they're on. So I'm loving it so far. So obviously those 2 books I will work through on my way to work if I'm driving somewhere to get them done. And then, yeah, I do definitely have James Patterson's book here that I've been working through. But like I said, I'm kind of leaving this for those coffee and conversations just because I want to talk about it because I'm loving this so very much, as well as the Throne of Glass book number 1 by Sarah J. Maas. This is another book that I have in that coffee and conversation. That was episode 1. So again, this book is something that I'm going to be reading in the reading vlog I'm about to film, but I definitely want to make sure that I don't hold this on myself as like, this is an August read. Instead, this is a book that I'm doing for that series because I want to talk about it. I find it so interesting. I love the main character here, Selena. I think she is so fascinating. There's so much depth to her. So I just want to go along with it with you guys and tell you my thoughts as I do so. And then, as you know, the last couple books that I'm getting to are going to be 2 different series, and that's going to be Harry Potter and The Land of Stories. Now, with these 2 series, I love them. I kind of started feeling with second book here of Harry Potter that, it kind of lost my interest a little bit. Not that I think that the whole series will do that or that any more of this book will do it, but it did kind of lose my interest a little bit. And then the same goes with The Land of Stories. It got very hunky-dory for me and very much like princesses and fairies and all of that, and I kind of wanted something a little bit deeper. That's why I picked up these 2 books here, because I feel like there's a lot more content for an adult mind. But I definitely love these books and I do want to get through them. I've definitely debated listening to the entire Harry Potter series via audiobook and Audible, so let me know down below if you have done that. I did sample this book, which I'm about a quarter of a way done with it now. I did sample this book and I do like how it sounds. I do think the narrator sounds very nice. So I think after I finish the Percy Jackson series, I might dive into this one on audiobook. Maybe finish reading this one and start with book 3 with Audible. We'll see. But I definitely think one of these series I want to do, but I don't want to do this one on Audible just because I feel like I don't like the fact that Chris Colfer is narrating it. I don't think it sounds very good. I didn't know his voice sounded like that, so I don't like it. I would prefer to just read this one. So 9 times out of 10, I'm definitely going to be listening to this on Audible just so that I feel like I can get it done while I'm driving, and I drive 25 minutes every day to and from work. So I just feel like it'll help me get some reading done. That's what the point of having those audiobooks is for. But yeah, working through these 2 as well. So yeah, I'm super excited about August. I'm really excited to have been filming again and putting video and content up on my YouTube channel. I'm super excited to have kind of found my love for reading again, to be honest with you. It's like when I started the new job and I stopped working my nannying position. With that, I had so much more time to read that literally I could listen to an audiobook all day. I could get a book done a day, a book done in a day and a half, just because I was given the opportunity to read so much. So with the new position of literally working 8 to 9 hours a day, if not more, consistently, yeah, I can maybe pop an audiobook while I'm sitting down doing some work, but I don't have the ability to open up a physical book and read it. So my reading kind of slowed, my passion for it kind of slowed. I didn't have the time to jump on social media and look on BookTube and Booktok and those different things. So it died down for me. But I'm really glad to say that I've kind of found a system and a little plan, and just the love of reading has come back for me. And I'm really excited to see just how August goes with these reads and getting you guys a wrap-up video at the end of the month and going from there. So I do hope that you liked today's video. I'm sorry, but I really wanted to drink a sip of this tea. It's so good. I really do, guys, hope that you guys enjoyed today's video and that it brought you some joy and gave you a little bit of some suggestions if you need some more books to read and you have not picked up or heard of any of the books here that I just talked to you about. So yeah, they'll be linked down below for you. And if you haven't already, give the video a thumbs up and hit your notification bell, because then you can be notified every single time I post a video. Sometimes it's far and few in between, but I'm trying to be more consistent. You're gonna get a video every single Wednesday. I know that for certain, and we'll try my best to get at least a couple more videos out a week. And if you got to the very, very end of the video, if you could post the open book emoji down below, hence the fact that this is a monthly TBR video, I would really appreciate it, and I will catch you guys all in my very next video. Bye, friends.